Hello, and welcome to our webinar about burnout. Uh, my name is Pedja Jovanovic, and I will be your host today on this webinar. We expect more people somehow. Like just it's a very limited number of people, as I see, four participants. I hope that we will have more guests soon. And if since it's the group is small, you're really like welcome to join with your comments, thoughts, questions. I have a PowerPoint for you. I will share it with you, and then we will have some discussions around this topic. Uh, so. Webinar will be around 1 hour and 15 minutes. And please, you're welcome to join this discussion at any point. So let's start with our last webinar. I didn't use PowerPoint. This one I prepared one. Topic about how to, the subtitle, how to save yourself from yourself. Why this topic? It came out as a result of my coaching practice. In most cases, when I work with people who are dealing with issues, thank you, Tanya, with stress and with effects of stress, actually it's something personal, something that nobody is doing it to us. We are doing it to ourselves. So if you had a possibility to work with someone who is under tension, or who is or you suffered from burnout syndrome, then I just like you can take the responsibility immediately. So you are the one who did it to yourself, and then we will talk about how to actually recognize that we are in burnout, and what we can do in order to support ourselves to get back into normal state. So what is burnout? This is the definition. World Health Organization is very how to say in the attention these days for many things, but in this case, I think it's very important to underline that it is occupational phenomenon. So it's not illness. It's not something that is related to different areas of our lives. It is connected only to work setting. So as it is written here, it is like a definition. Like it is result from chronic workplace stress that hasn't been successfully managed. What I don't like in this definition is who is responsible for managing this stress. And in any case, like whenever you feel whatever feeling you have, like you are the one who is responsible for it. It's under my control. And of course, like who can diagnose burnout? It's doctors. So what are the symptoms? Exhaustion. So like my energy level goes down. Decrease of engagement. I feel negative or cynical around work-related topics. Then there is less productivity or efficiency. And as I said, it's not mental illness, it's more mental health issues. And as some other mental health issues, it is related to certain contexts and to certain personalities. So in second part of this webinar, I will show you in what way you can use process communication model as a tool to recognize who are the people who are candidates for burnout, and in what way you can support them to resolve or to be in a position to not to get into such a state. Okay, so we talk about psychosocial stress. So it's chronic. It is defined as a term in 1974, and of course, it causes the crisis that we as professionals start to question our professional competency in the field of our interest. This curve is very important, and I mean, maybe you know it, maybe you don't, but you can definitely relate to it. Everyone can, each one of us can. And the question is, in what way our performance is connected to level of stress. So at the very beginning, like when there is a low in this first part, when there is a low level of stress in the calm area, our performance is usually like growing, and motivation goes up. And then there is this second part of this curve where we have eustress, which is positive stress, where enthusiasm is a form of stress as well, when there is a happiness around things, euphoria around business successes. Like today, we got some good results, so we are very happy. So we will not die in this Corona crisis. Like, I mean, we got a big project, so like, wow, it's great. And you know, like it can happen that a few days later we get a bad information, then we will be down. So peak performance actually happens in the middle part of this curve. We want ourselves, and if we are team leaders, and if we are coaches and trainers, we don't want our clients to be in a calm area. We would like our clients to be in the area where there is a high energy, big focus, where work feels effortless. And actually, this is, for some personality types, this is the danger where coaching can be counterproductive. Because sometimes people who are very good in what they are doing, who are energized, focused, they feel like they are doing such a great job at work. They might hire a coach, or company might hire a coach for them to support their performance. And if you're a coach who is focused only on performance, basically as a result of your coaching, you can support someone to move into the burnout area. And we will talk about it. So as a coach, last time we were talking in a previous webinar, our goal is not just to support results, to support performance. Our goal is to support client to move through this personal transformation so that client can learn how to use different parts of his or her own personality. So this is important for coaches. So people who are high performers will usually look for a coach to support them so that they can even more improve their performance. But you know, like those high performers are on the tiny edge, and sometimes they can go over the edge, and where high performance can lead into burnout, and then they can experience this type of issues, exhaustion, health issues, any kind of stomach problems, you know, like this type of things. It's the indicator of some internal conflicts. And at the end, the last thing is a breakdown and burnout, where the performance really then goes up. So long story short, we talk about coaching. I mean, my basic field of expertise is coaching. So I'm training coaches and mentor them. We would like to stay a lot in this area here, but especially for those people who are already in this area here, we need to be really careful how, when they want to have more of results, because sometimes it can be counterproductive for their well-being. So when we talk about burnout, on one side there is when it happens, when demand of job is outweighs the resource to cope with. Yeah, and then there is a big probability for burnout to happen. So it's not about the amount of work. It's not about the stress as itself. It's about our ability. And this ability, as any other, can be developed. The question is, are we able to recognize it, that we need to work on something? If we talk about ourselves. And the other thing, when we work with someone else, when we work with our clients, besides finishing this part here, where there is a demand of job, while getting this result, can we recognize that the client is not able to cope internally with whatever is happening? So this is what I was talking previously. It's the same thing, presented in a little bit different way. So be aware that stress doesn't cause a burnout, but stress plus inadequate support resources does. So we don't want to work on stress. We want to work on ways how we support ourselves in a stressful period. And this is this Corona times is a perfect setting for learning about ourselves and our ability to cope with stress. Very simple. For most of us, we are hired either in international organizations or as a professionals who work with the international organization to work with it, to have a daily interactions with other people. It's like a basic psychological need. And if this basic psychological need is cut off so that we cannot feed our need, then the basic stress that is happening, and it is happening all the time, becomes even higher. So we need to learn to cope with it, how to feed our needs. And this is what we will talk about in the second part. What are the psychological needs and how to feed them on the daily basis so that we can support ourselves and our clients to deal with situations that we are facing. So how to put it metaphorically, imagine that you have your stress bucket, and there is a normal stress level, there is a relaxed stress level, and then there is a maximum stress level. And on one side, you have your demands, changes, deadlines, results, lockdown, things that are coming and coming and coming and coming, and then your bucket gets more and more full. So what you need to work on, it's not up here, because this will come. I mean, like, unless you want to resign on everything and go to nature. I mean, and you can do it for some time. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, like once in a while, it's really good to switch off from anything and relax so that I release tension. But ideally would be that I learn to work on this part here, how I can develop my coping abilities and develop my this is what I would like to have under my control all the time. And if there is one thing that I personally did good in during this crisis, this is this part here, like literally on daily basis. Like I worked on my coping abilities, and with all these things that were happening in 2020. This was one of the best years so far, because everything that was my control was fully managed. The things that were not under my control, that's how it is. I mean, it's not under my control. So for me, this is indicator of developing my own abilities. If you feel like that the year was bad because of external circumstances, then your coping abilities are not good. So you need to work with yourself or with someone else. I don't know, therapist, coach, whoever can support you to develop those coping abilities. Yes. So key question for you and for me and for all of us is, what is under our control? So we want to work only on the things that are under our control. And even if the worst things are happening, like I don't know, someone dies or whatever happens, if it is not under my control, it's not under my control. That's how it is. I mean, life, it happens. And you know, like, this is one thing is a common sense that we can use it, and the other is common sense applying into real life. And this is what when I work with my clients, most of them are smart people who can understand it very quickly. But in order to incorporate this thing into our lives, it takes time. So that's why coaching is a process. It's not something that can happen in one session. So I did one session and that's it. And if you're a coach and you sell Coaching never sell one session, because one session is always for free. I mean, what we can do in one session? Nothing. So we want to work only under the things that are under our control. So if you hear yourself, you hear that you're complaining about demands, about the number of whatever tasks that you have, about the results, about the lockdown, just stop it. I mean, it's not under your control. And the worst thing is that you start to try to control things that are not under your control. Then the tension goes even higher. The best thing is, I understand what is under my control is how I can deal with it, and then I really put attention there. So this is where our attention goes: stress management and our coping abilities. So when it comes to coping abilities and stress management, there are two things. One thing is really common sense. I mean, just go to internet and browse this thing and type like stress management techniques. This is, I just took a first photo that I liked on the internet. So these are the things that you can do to touch your physical level, you know, like to deal with a stress on the level of physicality. This is one dimension. And then there is a second dimension, how to work on my stress level, understanding my own psychological structure, and actually energizing different parts of my personality. So I like this slide a lot, because this is, when I see it, I don't think, because, you know, this is something that works. And what I do, I just pick those that work for me. Listen to music, definitely. Take a walk, definitely. I don't want to talk to friends. Why I don't want to talk to friends? Because I'm talking to people for a whole day. I want to be silent. My job is talking, so I don't want to talk. Get more sleep. If there is one thing that I'm doing well, I'm sleeping well. So sleep needs to happen. Why? Sleep is the the best natural way to release the stress from daily basis. So if you have a client who has a sleeping disorder, it's the clear indicator that there is something with stress. So like one thing is just, you know, like work on something so that you can have a natural sleep. I'm not talking about sleeping pills. And this is what I do for myself. So sleeping, exercise, I'm exercising literally on daily basis. Like, I mean, I exercise more than when I was 25 years old. Not because I want to be a sports guy or whatever, but because I know it is something that keeps me alive. And then I can deal with whatever is happening. Eat good food. And like nowadays, I'm playing with these things that are popular on internet, trying to see to eat less. But I don't know if it works or not. I'm not expert in that, but just I'm playing with it. And playing the instrument. So from 10, I'm applying on daily basis 6. And then the question is how many of these you're applying on daily basis? And if you have a client, if you're a coach, you know, you can share this thing with them. It's really something that we don't need to be an expert in anything. It's just literally common sense. Just do it. Don't think about it. So what I do for myself, I say, like, if you want to survive, just apply these things, and then I apply some other things. But this is something that has to be there. So this is one dimension that really works on the physical level. And then there are other coping abilities. So that especially like when it comes to psychological coping abilities. So just to go with what definition of coping abilities means. So coping means to invest one's own conscious effort to solve personal and interpersonal problems in order to try to master, minimize, or tolerate stress and conflict. So it again means it's something about me with me. It's not me with you. It's not you with me. I mean, you cannot cause my stress. My job cannot cause my stress. My clients cannot cause my stress. My partners cannot cause my stress. Only I can cause my stress if I don't have a good coping abilities. If I have a good coping abilities, then, you know, like things are happening, stress goes out, I work with myself. So psychological coping mechanisms is something that we would like to put attention on today. We talked in the first part about physical coping abilities, or how to manage our stress, are commonly termed as coping strategies or coping abilities. So it has to do something with our personality. So how to work with ourselves and learn to energize usually something that is not our strength. We have issues in lives. We have problems with a situation with life situations only then when we use all the time our major strength, and we try to resolve everything that we deal with our major strengths. And this is again where coaching can be very sorry, I need to put you on mute so that there is some noise. Okay, so when we work with when we work with our clients as coaches, usually like clients are using their major strengths to achieve business results because this is what they used so far. But these major strengths actually can be counterproductive for these issues that we are talking right now, stress issues, and that can lead into conflicts and a burnout. And I will give you some specific example. Last month, I was hired to work with one international company where there was a conflict between two people, direct superior and team member, and the conflict happened as direct superior thinks that he cannot work with this team member because she's manipulative and blah 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 blah, and team member thinks that she cannot work with this direct superior because he's how to say, and not to use a bad word, when somebody's too pushy, too aggressive, and so on. And all of a sudden, both of them are high performers because of the situation that they are dealing with. They're starting to have internal issues and they start to become low performers. So company doesn't have they don't know what to do with them, because unless this is resolved, company suffering, bizarre results are not there. So when I started a little bit to talk with them, what turned out that both of them demonstrated exactly what theory says that they should demonstrate based on their personality structure. Their basic need, psychological need, was not met in this time of 6 months or so that we are closed in regularly for the longer period of time. So they started to demonstrate distress behaviors. And these two distress behaviors that when they were in the same room, they couldn't deal not just with each other, but with themselves. And now we have this situation. So in such case, like a company wants a result, but the best thing would be to actually work with both of them. I mean, not in the same time, but individually, so that you help one person to deal with her own stress, and then the other person to deal with her own stress. And then when they learn to energize higher parts of their personality, to sit together and to try to make a cognitive idea how to resolve the situation. Because until that moment, company was insisting on cognitive ideas. And can you have in your experience, how many times it happened that you cognitively knew what you want, but then when it came to real life, then the tension was high, then this cognitive thing didn't work at all. So long story short, two ways how to deal with tension and with burnout. One is this common sense physical way how to improve yourself on daily basis. The other way is developing internal coping mechanisms that are directly connected to your personality structure. If you're a coach, if you're a therapist, if you're someone who works with others one-on-one, then you can do two things. One way is recommendation, just do these things. I mean, just do it. I mean, you don't need to think about it. There are 12 recommendations, pick 6, pick 5. And then the other thing is then during the coaching, help them to energize higher parts of their personality. This is what I would like to talk about in the next period, how in the next sequence of this part of this session, how exactly we can do it. Okay, so okay, before we go there, the question is, who are the people who are at the risk of being in a burnout? Just, like again, if burnout is something that is directly, that is occupational phenomenon, and that is can be defined only in work setting. So who are the people who are candidates who for burnout? Okay, each individual definitely, but who are those who are really at the risk? High performers, low performers, medium performers. Say something, small group. High performers, medium performers, low performers. What is your opinion? You can type. Usually high performance. So those people who care, those people, yes, high achievers, those people who care, because I care and I put a pressure on myself bigger than I can handle. I don't have developed coping mechanisms, and I will push and push and push and push because the job will be finished. And then I come home and I don't know to switch off, and I continue to think. And I don't go to exercise, I don't eat well, good food, I don't sleep, and tomorrow, and then tomorrow. And like, I am strong, I can do it. I can do it, come on, I can do it. Like, let's do it, let's achieve, let's do it. And this, let's do it. And then like when there is a person and the pressure goes with him or her, like walking pressure. Of course, it's also walking results. But when things are changing really fast, then we have a situation where we can have results and the person might suffer. And we can lose a person, we can get results sometimes. I mean, I don't know, I'm candidate for it, luckily, like I know these things. Yeah. So in a fast changing world, definitely people who are at a higher risk of burnout are those who we call perfect corporate soldiers. Those guys that are, like the job will be finished. So no matter what, I mean, this is what it will be done. So the question is, who is a perfect corporate soldier? I mean, all of us a little bit. If you're in this webinar, interested to learn about new things, so definitely you want to invest about in yourself. So in one way, definitely you fit in a. I mean, maybe some of you just didn't know what to do in. I don't know, Tuesday, 4 o'clock, and you join this webinar, but I assume that you want to be here because there is something that you would like to improve about in your work, I assume. So perfect corporate soldier is someone who is precise, who is dedicated. Well, like, who will finish the thing and you don't need to go behind him and check what he is doing. So there is a commitment and well-organization. Then results-oriented and self-motivated. Like, who would like to hire someone who you need to motivate all the time? I mean, just motivate yourself. I mean, I don't want to work with someone with whom I need to deal with their motivation on daily basis. Then high moral standards and who cares about the quality of work. And the last one, cares about others. So if these are the qualities that person has who fits into criteria of perfect corporate soldier. And later, like, we will see that these qualities are directly related to certain personality types who might suffer a lot when the things are changing and there is a pressure, and then there is internal pressure and the results are not there, and who are candidates for burnout. So what I would like to show you, a basis of process communication model. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't, but in this case, we will connect it to this burnout syndrome and how we can use it in coaching and what we can pay attention to when we work with our clients. So what is process communication model? It's the model that is developed by this guy, Taibbi Keller, and this guy got Eric Berne Memorial Reward for discovery of manuscripts in 1977. And of course, since it has a connection with transactional analysis, there is a lots of things that can be connected to TA. So there are many applications of process communication model. There is a process communication model therapy. It is applied in management for many years. What is very important, especially when it comes to stress and burnout, NASA was using it for many years to put teams together. Because you know, like when you're isolated and you go for a mission for a long period of time, then there is a bigger probability that in distress we start to get conflict with each other. So based on PCM profiles, they were building teams of people who in distress can work with each other. It's not a good idea when you have a people who has such a profiles, then when there is a tension, they go, then they react in a way that the conflict goes up. So this is one of the, for 18 years, it was used as a main selection tool for astronauts. And nowadays, what you can see, Pixar is creating actually cartoon characters in their cartoons based on PCM. So each character has its own profile, and it can be really analyzed through PCM. And then the movie that really is like a pure PCM movie is Inside Out. I don't know if you have a possibility to watch this movie, that it goes how the personality develops. And basically this is a theory. We got the basic personality type with our birth, and then there is another one and another one and another one. In the first 6 years, we develop our personality, and then later we just develop it through interaction with others. So these are the two most, how to say, the famous application. There are many others. And what PCM is actually talking about? The PCM actually talks about a deep personality structure. And for me, it was very important as it came somewhere when I already did many different trainings, and I already was a coach. I was PCC, but I didn't have a tool to work with the identity. I mean, we have like many tools to work with strategies, with communication, with beliefs, I don't know, values. But you know, like when it comes to identity, the question is like what we can do about it. And PCM is really something that in user-friendly way explains very nicely deep personality structure. So in the first 6 years, what we got this condominium. And all floors on this condominium are set in these first 6 years of our life. So what we have in our basis, so if you can imagine that our identity, psychological dimension of identity is like a condominium that has 6 floors. So each one of us has all 6 personality types. But the thing is that they have a different sequence. This is one thing. And second thing, that each of these sequences is differently energized. So this is what what makes us different, and also our ability to be flexible and energize different parts of our personality. So this is what PCM is actually explaining. So the base personality type, this bottom floor, actually you know, like there are 2 different approaches. One approach is that we get in the first few weeks of our life. But it's not true. I will tell you from my own experience. I was at the birth of 2 of my kids, and the moment when they were born, I recognized their base personality type. And definitely both of them has the same base personality type. And how I recognized literally the behavioral signals. In what way? When my son was born, he didn't say anything. He was like, he went out, and we were afraid if he is alive. You know, like baby is not usually, like, you know, I was learning in school that with the first breath, the lungs are spreading, and then there is a pain, and then this is painful, and the kids are crying because of that. But you know, like he went out like just like this, you know, nothing. And we slapped him over his ass, and his reaction was, it was not fear, it was anger. And PCM is a perfect to describe reactions under stress. So there is only one personality type that under stress reacts with anger. It's persister, same as mine. Like when I'm under stress, I'm always angry. I will never be, I will sometimes I can be sad, but usually my favorite negative emotion is anger. So baby, stress, anger, base persister. And what turned out now, he's 5 years old, it's a clear base, he is base persister. My daughter, she, again, another base persister, so it will be lots of tension in our communication. How I recognize her base persister, when she was, of course, first night she was sleeping with, we stayed in hospital. She was sleeping on my chest for the first night. And first couple of days of life, she's struggling with something, but she's not crying. She's doing something like this. Mm, mm, mm. And this is what persisters are doing. I will, how to say, izdržat ću na srpskom, ne znam how to say it in English. And you know, like again, it was obvious. And now, like she's 4 months old, again, it's obvious. When I will show you her photos. And my wife is saying like she's same as father. There is a photo that she's looking at her, and like she's sitting in my with me, and both of us are looking at my wife like this. You know, like, and then you try to talk to her, and she's looking. Yeah. And this is this reaction of persistence. So basic floor with the birth. First 6 years, you get the floor by floor in 2 ways. One way is what you are exposed to in a healthy way. In your working, in your family, if there is a healthy situation where you can energize something that is present with your family members, then you can energize that floor. The other way is something that people are, that you are suffering. So for example, in old days, there was this approach, let baby cry, let her cry. You know, like you don't make her be comfortable with being in hands. Let her cry, it doesn't matter. And then you are cutting off the need for contact. And then it is possible then the baby develops harmonizer, because harmonizer wants contact. So you develop other floors either with energizing them in a healthy way, or by cutting it off, and then the baby is suffering and then needs to develop faster some of other personality types. So I will give you a short description, and then we will connect this to perfect corporate soldier to see who is perfect corporate soldier. Okay, so base in this condominium, what we have here is a base promoter. Would be someone who is ready for action, someone who is dynamic, who is moving, who first acts, then thinks. Someone who is a like fast-moving person. Basic need is like dynamics. I would like to have action all the time. Someone who really suffered a lot during the lockdown. You know, like you cut off dynamics for a person who has a basic need for dynamics. I mean, it's really bad. Then a second one, this purple, it's my base personality type, persister, someone who is pushing everyone and everything, someone who has opinion even without experience. You know, like I have opinion about anything. You ask me and I will give you my opinion. But you know, like sometimes, you know, like even without any experience, it's good to know so that I can work on this. Next one, imaginer. The most creative personality type with a strong inner world, with a need of psychological need for solitude. So I would like to be alone. So it's the only personality type who actually enjoyed this lockdown. Why? Because I have a need to be alone and I don't need interaction with others. And then I finally have it and it's fine. I mean, it's cool. Then we have another very creative personality type, rebel, that psychological need is of playfulness and fun. Then thinker, another one who puts a pressure, but this time if persister puts pressure on others, thinker is putting pressure on himself or herself. So I need to finish things. I need to be perfect. And I need to be organized, and I would like to know everything and so on. So structure and quality of work. And the last one in this image is so-called harmonizer, a personality type who is really cares about others, who has a psychological need of like acceptance, and who really puts often other people needs in front of his or her own needs. So now I would like to give you a few moments to think about your own personality structure. So what do you think? What would be your personality structure if you have this, just the basic information? I mean, it's nothing, it's not a lot, but you know, like something that, how you would build your own condominium. What is it that is your real basis of personality, and what is the top, what you can really identify yourself with, and what you cannot? Take a few moments, you know, like you can draw it like this and just put the sequence. You don't need to put these percentages, it doesn't matter. Just, you know, what's your feeling? I can share with you one more time the some basic qualities. Like promoter is someone who is ready for action, movement. Persister is someone who is pushing his or her own beliefs and opinions. You know, like I know. Someone who values also quality of work. Imaginer, someone with a strong inner world. Rebel, someone who is who is playful, who is fun, who likes jokes. Thinker is someone who is really well organized and who also likes to finish things. And harmonizer is someone who is caring, who cares about others, who likes harmony. Imaginer, Ina says, imaginer, harmonizer, a strong, probably promoter is the weakest. That's possible. Yeah, like how you can also recognize that imaginer, harmonizer are strong if you are not in stress attacking other people. Because imaginer and harmonizer are the only personality types who under the stress don't attack others. All others under the stress are ready first to say, what are you doing, and so on. Tamara is saying imaginer, thinker, harmonizer. Then I recognize harmonizer, basic, but thinker and imaginer. Imaginer, rebel. Lots of imaginers in this group. Miroslav, are you in this in some design industry or something like that? You know, like some creative industry. If you have a imaginer and rebel, lots of creativity. No, science. Okay, okay. That, you know, like science is also important for creativity, because especially if it is research. You know, I don't know if it is something out of box thinking in that type of science. I don't know, because imaginer has it, this thinking beyond what is possible. Okay, persister and thinker usual. Great. So this is, and Mariana is like me. I'm base persister than a thinker on a first floor. So what is then your opinion? Who is perfect corporate soldier? I will move it back here. If we would build a condominium of perfect corporate soldier, who this person would be? Thoughts, comments? Someone who is precise, dedicated, well-organized, committed, results-oriented, self-motivated, cares about quality work, high moral standard, and cares about others. There is something here. No, like with all, it's not like there is some personality types that are really, how to say, can be more recognized in this description. Or we can start with who is not, if it is easier for you. Okay, promoter, persister. So why would anyone want to be a perfect corporate soldier? Well, it's not, it's a metaphor. Yes, this is a term. A perfect corporate soldier is a metaphor for people who have such a qualities. You know, like why we use this term, because sometimes we even don't know that we are, but we put companies and the work interest beyond our own interests. So Miriam says promoter and persister. So definitely persister is there. Who else fits in the persister thinker? That's right. This is, and if you have a persister thinker in the bottom two, in one of down three floors of your personality, you fit into criteria of perfect corporate soldier. And if you have a like harmonizer who cares about others, and you work with a group, then it's even better. And if you work more alone, then the promoter will be there. Yes, persister thinker, definitely. So this is the answer to the question: who is more bigger candidate for burnout? So if you have a persister and thinker in the bottom floor of your condominium, why? Because your own psychological need is to finish the work, and nobody needs to put the pressure on you. You will put the pressure on you. And then if you hire a coach, and the persister and thinkers will hire a coach not to save themselves from a stress, but to help them to finish the work. And you need to be very careful. If you are only a performance-based coach and you are helping people only to finish the work, then what might happen? That if you have a persisters and thinkers who are already suffering a lot by their own personality, because this is how they are structured, and then you help them to put even more pressure on in the area where they already have a pressure, then you can have a contra effect. You can then the coaching can be counterproductive. I mean, you can get the results, but then the person can say, well, now I'm done. So how to do it and what to do with this? You need to learn, if you were apply it for yourself, or sorry, yes, like if I'm thinking about myself, I need to develop my own inner flexibility. So what does it mean? Although my personality structure is like that I have in my bottom floor, persister and thinker, I need to work all the time consciously. So to develop my coping mechanisms, to energize something that is on a higher floor of my condominium. In my case, it is imaginer and rebel. Don't take things too seriously. No, work is not a rabbit to run away. Just relax. And when I say these sentences, and my thinker and persister hear these sentences, they are under stress. But if I learn to energize my rebel, to energize my imaginer, not to get ready all the time. Why do I need to get ready all the time and to be prepared? For example, for this webinar, I didn't prepare at all. Like what? Like I will talk about things that I'm doing on daily job. I mean, this is my job. I don't need to get ready for this webinar. Versus my persister and my thinker would like me to be well structured, so everything is under place. So this is one. So this is a key thing. So develop all 6 personality types. So it's not about types of people. It's about types within people. How to recognize what to develop? You know, just pay attention to people around you, and those people who are frustrating you by their behaviors for any reason, most probably they have those parts of personality that very energized, that in your case are not so much energized. So like I would be always frustrated when somebody is not on time, when somebody is too vague, when somebody is too abstract, with blue sky thinkers, with tree huggers, you know, like those people who are fluffy. Why? Because I don't have it well energized. And if I want to develop my flexibility, and for me, personal development would mean become fluffy, develop those things. Don't put so much pressure. Bring playfulness. So what we did, we moved into better place, our work. So we are in a nice house. People are there. They don't have offices. I mean, they're on the terrace there. They're having fun. And you know, they can have fun. So what? And I can show you, we can go there to see what they're doing. It doesn't matter. I mean, relax. Job will be finished at a certain point. So we don't need to put pressure neither on ourselves, not on others. Of course, when there is a space for that. And you know, like for persisters and thinkers, usually it's never space for that. We always need to finish to be properly organized. So one thing is development of inner flexibility. And second thing, as I said, it's important like to recognize, not to put a labels on people. So we don't talk about types of people, but types within people. And when we interact with other, try to recognize what is the energy that comes from this person. So when you work with, as a coach, because I mean, if you are working with others, see like from what place, from what energy is person is currently talking, and help them to energize other parts of their condominium so that they can be more complete. And with development of this inner flexibility, actually you are helping them to develop their own coping mechanisms so that they can deal with the reality, because this is what is under their control. So what causes burnout? This is a link: lack of control, unclear job expectation, dysfunctional workplace dynamics, extremes of activity, lack of social support, and work-life imbalance. So this is something that is more related. Who wants control? Persisters and thinkers. Clear job description, persisters and thinkers. Dysfunctional working dynamics, like all personality types. Extremes of activities, it's something that is more related to folk promoters. Lack of support, social support harmonizers, and the balance harmonizers. So persister thinkers plus harmonizers and promoters, these are personality types who might suffer more from a burnout, and who will suffer less, rebels and imaginers. Why not talk about structural causes of burnout? Not try to limit it, instead of dealing with consequences and trying to cope. The talk about inflexibility is just the. Can you please just say a little bit more? What is structural causes of burnout? You can. I mean, it's a small group. Turn on the camera. And the microphone. You can say. What is structural causes of burnout? Miroslav. Well, it doesn't matter. You don't you can microphone so that, or the next. Sorry, just this is this shortcut talking about inner flexibility. Is this BC means bullshit? Just tell me what BC means. Okay, Miroslav, I need to tell you, you're out. Sorry, guys, this is my webinar. I do it for free. I do it for your support. I don't want to have people who are dealing with my work in such a way. So he's out. Any other thought, comment about the content? So this is like, for example, something that persister and thinker wouldn't do, but rebel, yes. And this is something that for me, it's okay. I'm investing my time, I'm investing my energy, I'm sharing my knowledge. He thinks that this is bullshit. He is out. Okay, like you can please share whatever you think, but without offending my content here if possible. Okay. Don't be afraid. I mean, I will not kick you out if you share your opinion, as long as it don't offend anyone. Okay. So, just to summarize, coping abilities. So it is about development of inner flexibility, and this is what I was sharing with you. So we're basically at the end of this webinar, and questions, thoughts, comments. Now is the right time for it. intrigued about my personality types right now. So what you can do, you can think about what are your strengths, and and what is something that is far from you, and you don't need to get to know a whole condominium. It doesn't matter. You just need to recognize in a given moment of time what it is that you demonstrate, because it is everything is within ourselves. We have all six personality types are internal, are our within ourselves. So we just need to learn to energize each of them and use them literally on daily basis. If you want to get the personality profile, we can create your personality profile, but this is what we charge. Mirjana, you wanted to say something? Please. I will unmute you, or you need to unmute yourself.
I'm here. Okay. Should we include in burnout also when somebody is not paid enough? I think because I recognize that myself, I'm not a material person, but when I'm working a lot, but I don't give material support, I feel that burnout, like it's useful or something.
Okay, so the question is, look what you say, you are not paid enough. So just think about construction. So it means that you are paid for the work that you do. So you can change the work, you can make money, you can earn money, you can deserve money, but like being paid is something that puts you in a quite passive role. So if you turn it around and say, well, okay, I'm in a position to make money, to create money. And currently I put myself in the corner when I perceive that I'm just paid, that I get the money for something. You need to, unblock yourself, to step out from that role. So how you can do it? You can do it by yourself. You can hire a coach or someone to work with you. But you need to take over the control under things. You need to focus on the things that are under your control. Because if you, for example, work in the organization where there is some kind of, salaries range, and you fit in some salary range, and you can say, well, this is not under my control, and you can complain about it. But what you say, what is under your control is to think where you can put focus and where you can put your energy so that you can make more money. And making more money is an active role, and being paid is a passive role. So because of subjective perception that you are paid for something, it is connected. So take over the responsibility, and then, develop your inner flexibility. Who is moving fast? Promoter is moving fast. Who is saying bye? Rebel. How Miroslav went out? Rebel kicked out of Miroslav. Just go away. No, I don't want to see bullshit in this webinar. And if I would go from my thinker and persister, what would they say? Oh, what will Miroslav say? Let's explain him. What will it? Rebel? Huh? I don't fucking care. Go away. So, what I recommend you that you take over the responsibility, and the ownership of the making money, not of being paid, because being paid is quite passive. And being paid is the same sentence as, it's a corona crisis. Yeah, it's the same thing. And I want active role. I want in corona to move. Being paid is the same sentence as I have a difficult participant. I have a participant who is saying bullshit. No, it's not. It's from being in the role of victim. No, I would like to have a role of mover, of someone who is acting fast. So I act, I move. And of course, I'm not saying resign tomorrow, but I'm saying take over the control of the whole thing and start to work on whatever you want to achieve in this thing. And then, even when you start to make a small things, it will change your subjective experience of whatever is happening around you. And then, step by step, most probably you will get into the position to yeah, to at least apply for the better jobs or more jobs that are paid better. Okay. Any other thought or comment? Okay, so thank you very much for being part of this webinar. I'm glad that you were here. I mean, it's a small group, but we covered everything. Next week, I will talk about team resilience and corporate resilience. So on 22nd, there will be a third webinar. It's the last webinar in this group of webinars of 3. So if you're interested in team resilience and group resilience, you are welcome. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.